I think that Rear Admiral Lex Walker right now has to probably be one of the most hated people inside the entirety of the U.S. military, as it looks like he's coming after recruiters and trying to make their lives just a little bit harder to meet the dramatic mission of putting people in the Navy. As we know that articles have been plastered across everywhere on social media and media outlets going off on about the issues that every military branch is facing, and that is trying to get people inside the U.S. military, which has been a difficult task and still continues to linger into the next fiscal year of 2024. As this email has been leaked from this Rear Admiral going off about how now recruiters are going to have to work 6 days a week in order to meet the mission. He says, "Recruiting Nation, good morning. By now you have heard from your commanding officers that I made the decision to go to a 6-day work week across the recruiting enterprise, and would like to share my perspective as to why this is absolutely necessary and why we cannot wait a minute longer. Simply, this is a war-fighting imperative. I'm not being dramatic when I say that our inability to bring in the right numbers and types of people, fill and fit, impacts our ability to fight and win. Recruiting is the prime mover, the thing that makes everything else go for the entire Navy. If we are unsuccessful in our mission, it negatively impacts fleet manning. Gaps at sea go up, with potential ramifications for promotions and retention and strength in how we fight." So also add to that, I think this is one big pipe. This is the entry of the pipe. There's the end of the pipe, right? They've even allowed people to go past their high-year tenure, which means if you don't make rank within a certain amount of time, that you would initially or previously be known that you could be kicked out for that. Now they're saying if you're going to these critically manned billets, that they're going to allow you to stay in. So they're trying to back up the exit of the pipe while also trying to increase the inflow of that pipe as well. He says, "We have instituted many initiatives and exceptions to policy over the last 12 months to expand the qualified pool of applicants, and we will proactively go after more high-yield initiatives and resources that have the potential of making you more effective and efficient. Some examples of the fiscal year 23 actions implemented follows. Significantly increase our marketing and advertising budget, almost doubled." Which, by the way, yes, he's not incorrect on this, but this company, VMLYNR, they actually earned the contract over the past 5 years for $455 million of that went to them in order to do the America's Navy campaign. As many of you guys have seen, as far as, trying to boast numbers, there is the U.S. Navy side of the social media, then there's America's Navy. They run America's Navy. Now, when you look at this, they've been in charge for this for the past 5 years. From 2019 to 2020 timeframe, when numbers were going all the way down, over half their experience and time that they've showed any yielded results, they've actually had a negative impact on recruiting. But they have just renewed the contract. Why was that the case? Were the competitors not able to show anything else, or were they just the bottom dollar as far as the lowest competitor that they could pay for this? And if that's so, that number from $455 million was noted a couple of years ago. So does this mean they're getting almost $1 billion in recruiting? Who knows? He goes on to say, significantly increased enlisted bonus expenditures, reinstituted the loan repayment program, which, by the way, I think should have already been a thing and always open, because how many people are joining that already have bachelor's degrees? I would say this should have been something that was going to stay open indefinitely, but that's just my personal thoughts. Change the law to increase enlisted bonus ceiling to $75,000. We could say that's also because of the issues that we could talk about with inflation being through the roof, where $50,000 was not going to touch anywhere near what it was going to be a couple years ago. Open up policies as wide as possible to allow more folks to come through the door. Cat 4s, plastats, single parents, age 42. All I can say is that this is dealing with people that would normally not be able to join, and allowing waivers to those people because they are a single parent, because they are 42, or they have some legal issues or whatever else going on. Future Sailor Prep Course, MARP, Standards Guidance, RLMM, and continuously improving training. Implemented every sailor a recruiter. Begun to restore 803R manning to 100%, and MEPS open additional Saturdays. He says these levers have allowed you to contract over 6,000 additional future sailors, thereby reducing the projected new accessions missed from 12,500 to 6,500 to 7,000. This is a substantial improvement achieved due to your efforts, but it falls far short of the new accessions required to man the fleet. Moreover, we are tracking to bring in less people than we did in fiscal year 2022. As it stands right now, we are going to begin fiscal year 24 in the exact same position as we did fiscal year 23, and thus all the same stressors will be present. This negative trend is putting total Navy readiness at risk. To give you guys a heads up, he's speaking to you guys that are not aware of this. The fiscal year comes around in October. So in order for the U.S. Navy to look very good and polished and meeting the mission, he's saying that the 6,000 people that need to come in between now and October. And that's what they need. So if you guys are looking to join, it looks like now would be the time to do it if they're, being so desperate in order to make sure that you're coming in. He says, I have already received numerous emails into the suggestion box in my personal inbox expressing displeasure with my decision. I did not make this decision lightly. I've tried to balance our mission with your well-being, fatigue, mental health, and stress on the family during the entire time I've been leading this team. I recognize the impact this will have on you and your families, and I will commit to you that I will return the enterprise to normal operations as soon as I possibly can. Based on the current debt posture delayed entry program, fiscal year 23, fiscal year 24 shipping plans and manning levels, my initial thoughts are that we will operate under the 6-day per week schedule through September, but that can change if the required progress is made. I want to place the ball in your court and let you control how long we need to be at general quarters. In conjunction with your commodores and commanding officers, we will routinely reassess the business environment with the goal of getting back to normal sooner. Additionally, I have successfully made the business case to my Navy HR to accelerate the manning us to 100% of BA, which will better position us in fiscal year 24. In short, help is on the way. My thought process on this as well is looking at this from this aspect of there are only so many applicants that are going to be out there that want to join. And luckily, high school just graduated in this past month. So hopefully this is the hot season. This is when these recruiters can actually try and get out of this. But it's more so like there are issues beyond just recruiters sitting inside a desk that are going to make this happen or not happen. That's my personal opinion. He says to recruiting commanding officers, wardrooms, chiefs, mess, I am relying on you to lead each other and our junior sailors. Continue to look out for and take care of one another. Our sailors are our number one asset, and NRC, Navy Recruiting Command, will never achieve success, much less function without our sailors. Address specific issues that impact sailors who are single parents, what will be required of civilians, and what a 6-day work week looks like in your respective AORs. If you run into a problem that you feel you cannot be solved at your level, use your chain of command immediately. I want all obstacles removed to ensure sailors are able to focus on recruiting in order to achieve our mission. I'm depending on you to lead our commands to success. He says, I'm calling on each and every military, civilian, and contract person recruiting enterprise to deliver and sustain his or hers maximum level of effort. Our nation, Navy, need us to be successful. Crews on board our warfighting platforms, home and abroad, need to be successful. Our shipmates around the world and even the recruiter sitting next to you need us to be successful. Now is time to answer the call to action. Together we can and will reverse the trend and deliver the new accessions required to meet our Navy's demands. I know this is not easy. I continue to be grateful for all you do, and remember the nation is depending on you to bring in the highest quality candidates into fleet to maximize the Navy's warfighting capabilities. Thank you. Very respectfully, Rear Admiral Lex Walker. But this has not only continued to, obviously put pressure on people to put numbers in, but it's putting pressure on people to stay in recruiting as well, as it looks like our friend Mike Sensi of the channel has actually given some credibility to this leaked email that's out there and says that this is coming down the pipeline as some recruiters are going to be forced to stay on even longer. All direction from CMP, Chief Navy Personnel, was just handed down to pull anyone going to recruiting from their current command, regardless of command, etc., 6 months early. In addition, sailors currently on recruiting, even those with orders to detach, will be extended 12 months or no more than 5 years. As these orders are released, you will receive emails, phone calls from commands. All we can do at this time is advise that this is a CMP directed action, and if they wish to submit a PMAR, i.e. order mod or uphold, they may do so. However, it most likely will not be supported. Please provide your honest feedback when you see the PMR's, WRT's approval/disapproval. Your comments/inputs should be accurate. You are not required to put approve. Just know it most likely will be approved in the end, but we will continue to advocate on behalf of our commands. Very respectfully, Paula. I don't know who Paula is, but I will say, but what this means is people that were supposed to go to war fighting platforms to go deliver the bad news to some of our adversaries are not going to be doing that. They're going to be stuck at a desk being at recruiting if this is going to be true. And it looks like on top of that, people that were going to be at a ship are possibly going to have to leave even sooner to go off of those areas to then go help out recruiting. I have to give credit to recruiters because I know a lot of people joke about them always lying and X, Y, and Z, all that other stuff. I think if anything, it's going to push that agenda even harder to make recruiters, maybe lie and say things in order to just get people to join, which I don't think is fair either. I look at this as like you're telling people to be like, look how great the Navy is, but they are hating it while they're doing it. They're going to be selling a falsehood. And a lot of people are probably just going to say, well, we're already in the crap already, so let's just continue going down that pathway because they were looking forward to leaving recruiting duty already. Now, I'll say that recruiters, I look at them as liaisons, right? People that are processing paperwork, getting you to the medical processing center in order to make sure that you can get through. We don't have people banging down the door in order to make sure that they're coming through MEPS and being able to be processed. People are not coming in droves. So having people come in every day of the week to sit in an office, make cold calls, try and hit people up on social media, I'm like, why not implement some kind of remote work? And as they've already alluded to, they're going to have some people that are single parents. They're making the same paycheck but being required to work a whole nother day, which could impact them with hundreds of dollars. So I don't know if they're going to have people that are working from home or if they're going to just make people pay this and say you're required to be here and possibly lose out on hundreds of dollars. And people are just going to resent the military at that point as well. I also have to give a massive respect to people that came over to recruiting duty that are looking to do this in order to get a break from sea duty and make sure that they can have time with their families and friends in order to recruit to go back and do the mission, as we know that ships can be arduous duty, especially deployed in forward operating bases. So when I look at this, I'm saying if you're looking to have that, recruiting duty is probably not going to be there. And if they want people to soak up on the 6-day work week or these, various, things that are being pushed down as far as agenda, you're going to have to up that recruiting bonus. You're going to have to up that recruiting pay, whatever that is. I'd love to know what you guys think about this recruiting crisis. Where do you think it's going? Do you think that putting people behind a desk another day of the week is going to matter? But as it looks, this is going to be a deficit for the foreseeable future if they're not able to churn out more people coming into the military. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, because that's where the discussion happens. But as always, if you guys like what I cover here on the channel, hit me up over on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.